This podcast is brought to you by GBS, where you'll find flexible education that fits around your busy lifestyle. For more information on GBS courses, visit globalbanking.ac.uk.
Hello everyone, we're really pleased to have Mike Summerfield here today. I've been after trying to interview him for quite a while. Morning, Mike.
Morning, Stephen. Lovely to be here.
Great. So you're the Managing Director of English Path, and how long have you been in this role?
I've been in this role since March 2021, so just over 2 years.
Yeah. So we've got some questions then today to give you, and could you, if you'd like, could you tell us a bit about your own education and life story?
Sure. I grew up in England in Eastbourne, down south,
lovely.
and went to a very, very ordinary primary school, and then went to a very ordinary secondary school, comprehensive, which had a specialisation in performing arts, which I enjoyed very much. I was always fairly bright, but never very good at actually sitting down and studying. Yeah. So I think my mum pulled me through my GCSEs with many grey hairs. Yeah. Got into college, and I took some A-levels, which just scraped me into university. And again, I spent a lot of university doing other things apart from studying, such as rowing. So I was on the rowing team. I was a men's captain of the rowing team. I was very proud of that, and did some performing arts there as well. But I did my degree in anthropology, which I think reflects my. I've always been a generalist. I've never delved into any one subject very well, but being able to do lots of different things has served me well, and it reflects the job I'm doing now. So graduated with my anthropology degree, and then I think it served me really well in my current role, working with international students, different cultures. And
anthropology is such a fascinating subject, though, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. I did the whole thing, so social anthropology and biological. Really interesting. Human behaviour, human evolution, things like that.
So tell us a bit more about how anthropology has kind of informed or helped your role, your teaching.
Yeah, very, very good question. We have students from every single culture, background, ethnicity, and they all come with different expectations when they come to the UK or Malta or Dubai to study English and to learn English. And using my education, I've been able to cross-culturally communicate better with them, I think. Yeah.
Well, I think so. Well, my first teaching role was as an English foreign language. We used to call it TEFL, the TEFL thing. So I did that and in fact I was doing it in my degree in my summer holidays, and then
in England,
okay. And then I went to Spain and taught in Spain for a couple of years. But why is that the track you took?
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
I graduated, and lots of my peers were going on gap years. I thought that sounds lovely, but I didn't have £20,000 sitting around in the bank to go and do it. So I saw an advert, teach English in South Korea. I was like, South Korea, I vaguely know where that is on a map. Called them up, and they said, right, we've got a great job for you in Gumi in South Korea. I was like, Gumi, okay. Flew out there, and then I had my accommodation, I had a job, and I had never taught English before, really. But I spoke English, so I thought, right, I can give it a go. And it's not that easy.
No. I know. It isn't.
I mean, you must have felt the same when you were in Spain, dropped in there.
And often you are dropped in, aren't you? And I worked for lots of quite shoddy language schools, where they kind of, However, it gives you a great kind of training in teaching generally, doesn't it? And the kind of, and if you can do it, you can probably do anything in teaching, I think.
I think so. You pick it up, and you find out what works well, and you develop a little repertoire of games and activities and lessons that you can you gradually build up across your career.
I think it's interesting what you're saying. I think from my social bracket might have been very similar to yours. I didn't have that kind of money that allowed me to go and spend the year, sort of lying on a beach in Thailand or
exactly.
that kind of thing.
But it does give perhaps people who don't have that kind of financial backing. This teaching English as a foreign language, it does give us as people from the UK or Ireland or wherever really, we can actually go and do that, and it can be a great experience without needing to have.
Yes. I've got twin daughters, and I've often said to them, it's your great commodity in life.
We're so lucky.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes. What about your role here, then, Mike? Tell us about that a bit more.
Yeah, it's a very wide and varied role, very very interesting. We started English Path. Dr. Rana had a very interesting idea to start a language school, which made perfect sense. He's got fantastic facilities. A lot of the GBS students don't have English as a first language. And I think that can hinder when they have to write big, long essays in English, and English is not a first language, that can hinder them. So we're here to support that. But our main goal is welcoming international students for a study abroad experience in the UK, Malta and Dubai. And we teach them English in the morning, and then the afternoons they go, for example, this week in London, there's trips to the National History Museum. They're going for fish and chips in the afternoon, conversation club, and in the evenings a nice pub night, because that's a very big part of English culture. They make friends when they're here with other students. When they finish their course, you might have a very nice Japanese student who's flying to Spain to see his friend Diego, then they stay in touch forever. They might stay with an English host family, and they make such a good connection that they'll fly back every year to spend time with them.
That's absolutely wonderful. And so you manage all of this, do you? So you're in charge of all this, all the social and all the teaching.
Yeah, we have as a team. We have a great team. We have a team of around 100 teachers. And then a non-academic team, student services, accommodation, and then the management team. So
great.
Together we make it work.
So I mean, tell us about your students. Tell about. I mean, are they coming from everywhere? I mean, where are they coming from by and large?
So I suppose in the UK we have students who are financially able to come to the UK. Come for 4 to 6 weeks, study English, and then go back to their countries. Maybe they've just finished university, or maybe they're looking for that promotion in their job back home, and they want to improve their skills and get it and go back. That's 90% of our student body in the UK. What we do, which I think is really interesting, is supporting students who can't normally afford this kind of experience. So recently we've had over 100 Ukrainians who've been displaced by war coming into the UK, and a lot of them speak fabulous English already. Some of them just need to brush up a bit before they get into interviews. We've given them free courses for up to 6 months each. And I think they've really benefited. And some of them have actually come on to end up working with us in the summer, short-term summer courses. Other things we've done in the past, giving back to the community, changing lives through education, which is our mantra, and it's also that of GBS's, is supporting charities. So, for example, we work with RefuAid. I can give you a really nice story. We had a student called Ibrahim, who's from Libya, displaced by the war there. He was a dentist, fully trained dentist, young guy, mid-20s. He came over and he needed his IELTS score to be at a certain level so he could then take his dentistry exams and get the qualifications transferred. We supported him on that journey for over a year, which we were able to do thanks to our business model. It allows us to help students like that. And he's just about to get his first job as a dentist in the UK, and that helps him. It helps our country. It helps the economy. I think it's just a really nice thing to do. And he also was working for us as an activity leader in the summers. So,
that's nice.
And the students really loved it. Yeah.
Well, that was really my next question about the transformative aspect, but you've kind of answered it really about education is a transformative experience, isn't it? And I think that's kind of one of that's a kind of a signet of it, really. Yeah,
it is that, and we can think about the work we do with students who can't necessarily afford our courses, but transformative as well. For example, we have Russians and Ukrainians studying together in Dubai, and that traditionally they might have ideas about things, and if they're in the class together, talking to each other, working together on projects. they just realised that we're all just. I mean, it sounds a bit naive, but we're all just human beings, and when we can all be friends aside from politics and global.
That's very good, isn't it? What key points of advice would you give to our students?
This is probably something you only do once in your whole life. It's very rare that a student from Columbia is going to have the opportunity to come to England again. So say yes to everything. Don't sit inside your room and be shy. Force yourself to get out there, make friends, talk to people, and really make the most of it. Go on every single activity you can. Go to Edinburgh, go to Oxford, go down to Brighton and really see the UK, or see Malta, see Dubai, because you might think as a young person, I'm going to go and do this again. But as we probably know, you probably won't go back teaching in Spain, and I probably won't go back teaching in Korea, will I? No. So we have to make the most of these opportunities and grab them, I think.
And what advice would you give to your younger self?
Believe in yourself a bit more, because I started as an English teacher and then moved out of the classroom, but I never thought I could be doing what I'm doing now. No way. And I've worked hard, but I'm nothing particularly special about me. I'm not, super intelligent or have a great educational background, but I think with hard work and enthusiasm, you can almost overcome anything. And I've been extremely lucky, and be lucky, and make sure it does help talking to people, making the effort to talk to people, because they can help you in your career.
Absolutely. This comes up again and again in our interviews about there is luck, there happenstance and luck, but you have to embrace it as well, don't you? And be confident, try and be as confident as you can, and say yes to things.
Getting out of your comfort zone is incredibly hard, and it's easy to sit at your desk all day and just do your job, but just by speaking to the office next door, you'll open new opportunities for yourself and learn new things.
I mean, with my London magazine role, and so it's 12, 13 years now, and it was the first time I came into contact with lots of Etonians, old Etonians, people my age. I realised that when you leave Eton, you are ready to take on the world. This is what it gives you. You're absolutely confident. It's actually programmed into you, that self-belief, where most of us don't have that, do we?
No. And I find that quite difficult to come to terms with, because you're absolutely right. I think people who do have a private education, which fine, they work hard, their parents work hard, absolutely, that's great, they should have it, but it gives them something that I and my peers don't have, and it's almost in different kind of worlds. I find it quite hard to talk to people who've been privately educated, because they are so confident and good for them. I wish I could have that. And even if it's fake, I don't know.
Well, some of them can be dunderheads as well.
But if you've got that confidence, and it's like what your question you said, believing in yourself. If you come across confident and you dress confident and you present yourself well, people will believe you, because everyone's got self-doubt, and
absolutely, they have.
It's just how much you can pretend to hide it.
Just a quicker questions.
Sure.
Quick fire. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Good, very good. Prevaricator or deadline meter?
Deadline meter now. Prevaricator for most of the rest of my life.
Same here. I think same here. Early riser, late riser, night owl. What?
Early riser these days. Used to be night owl.
Yeah. I think that comes with age, though, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
And about your wider interests, what else do you do?
Yep, very good. I've got a very small boat that has been in a barn for 2 years, and we finally got it out this weekend, and now it's on my poor friend and his wife's drive. So it looks wonderful.
Well, wonderful.
We're going to try and get it in the sea this summer.
Down on the coast?
Down in Eastbourne.
Eastbourne, yeah.
Yeah. I think if you have, you can have. Some of my friends have got families, and they really, that's their life. I really enjoy my job. I'm very lucky, so I do spend a lot of time doing that, and I think that's fine. If you do something you love, then you don't. Other things can not necessarily be as important, like hobbies and things like that. But I try to keep as balanced as possible.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think De Gaulle said that the English treat their jobs like hobbies and their hobbies like their jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's very good.
I think we all need to have wide interests, don't we? And kind of, I think it makes us, enriches us.
What about yourself, Stephen?
I do a lot of writing for myself. So I'm a writer as well. So a lot of writing, a lot of cooking, and trying
cooking.
Yeah, a lot of cooking.
Any specific dishes that you're...
Well, I've gone into Indonesian food lately.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, I'm married to a woman who doesn't cook, you see, so my wife won't cook. So,
So it sort of forces you to...
Yeah.
And you enjoy it? Or?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And cycling. And as we were saying before this interview, I love the South Downs. So we go a lot of walking on the South Downs, up on.
It clears the head, doesn't it? It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
Well, Mike, it's been really good. Yeah, it's really good to know more about you, and I'm sure you'll be an inspiration for the students as well.
Well, I hope so. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this GBS podcast. GBS is a provider of higher education with flexible courses in business, finance, accounting, healthcare, technology and construction. With courses from HND to bachelor and master's degrees and study options that include weekdays, evenings and weekends, there's a course that's right for you. Visit globalbanking.ac.uk or email the GBS team at admissions@globalbanking.ac.uk.